hold on. Hold on. Let me help you with those. Let me help you with those. Hi, my name's Donna, and I am the creator and founder of Chronic Crafters. This is my rescue horse, Maggie, who is very interested in the carrots that I have in the bucket right here. And so I'm going to satiate that interest and give her some carrots so she can be snacking while we're recording. The reason that I'm doing this first video with part of it out here in the barn with her is because the idea and understanding of exactly what I was supposed to do came to me while sitting in this barn with her and discussing with her, as those of you who have animals, especially horses, probably often do, because they're great people to discuss things with. I was discussing with her this idea that I'd had for months rolling around in my head about doing a crafting channel. Yeah, I know. I'm going to get you some more carrots in just a second. Hang on. Yes, I love you. Good girl. Anyway, and it's fine if you see her face instead of mine, because she's probably prettier than I am. In fact, I would say definitely she's prettier than I am. She's prettier than most humans I know. Anyway, so I'd been rolling around on this concept of doing a crafting channel of some sort for about 6 months. And I just was not able to understand in my heart the motivating factor for doing it. You know, you can want to do something, but until you find your passion and understand why you're doing it, you just hang out there. And about 2 months ago, she and I were hanging out in the barn. She was eating her hay, and I was just sitting beside her. And, yeah, I know, I got carrots, hang on. And I was telling her, you know, about how I really wanted to do this, but I just didn't know why. I really didn't understand what was the purpose, you know, and why would people want to even come? There are thousands of crafting channels of all different kinds. And so I was sitting there discussing it with her, and I swear, I don't know if she actually said it, but it felt like that she said it. And it was like, the thing that you deal with that's most challenging in life is chronic illness. And there are, because I have been on dozens of various sites for my chronic illness, looking for information, sharing information, whatever. And so I know there's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people out there with every kind of chronic illness that you could ever dream of. And some probably we haven't dreamed of. And the one thing I think that they struggle with, if my life is anything like what theirs is, the one thing you tend to struggle with sometimes is, number one, being positive about anything. Because it's like, why should I? I have, you know, there's all these things I can't do. Well, being positive in life also comes in understanding and realizing that, yeah, there may be a lot of things you can't do anymore, but there are things you can do. And I realized that one of the things that I could do was to use this channel to provide a place of positive encouragement, sharing of the loves and likes of people, and maybe introducing them to things they've never heard of, and that maybe they would come to like a lot. And so that is the purpose of Chronic Crafters. The Chronic Crafters is going to be a place where we do all different kinds of crafting. I mean, all different kinds of crafting, and I want people to comment what kind of crafts turn you on. What kind of crafts do you enjoy that light you up? And we're going to start with the one that lights me up. But my point is, I want us to be encouraging. I want us to be kind with one another. I want to provide a place where you don't get a voice that tells you something that's just always, you know, you feel like a burden. You feel like, you know, you feel like you're dragging around because you can't do what you need to do. I just want some place that combats that feeling in your life. And to do that, I want to produce Chronic Crafters. I do want to ask a couple of things. I want to ask you to tell everybody you know, because this is not just a channel for those of you with chronic illnesses. It's also a channel for people who love and care for and who are family members of folks with chronic illnesses. One of the things that maybe we would love for people to understand, but they just don't understand, is some of the stuff that we live with that makes life hard. And, you know, they have things of their own that they're concerned about, and that's totally acceptable. And so they don't always think about how things hit us who are chronic folks. And that's how I'm going to call us, is chronic folks, because it's not just illness. Part of it could be something you were born with. You know, there's a lot more than things that you're sick with that can cause chronic conditions. You may have a chronic condition. You know, maybe you were born with a physical disability of some sort that has, hang on girl, I'm getting it. Or maybe you were born with some type of a mental handicap that causes you to struggle. Hi, pretty girl. But anyway, these are things, you know, it doesn't matter what your chronic situation is. I'm just going to call us chronic crafters. When you hear the word chronic crafters, first thing you might think about is people who are chronically crafting and they just can't quit no matter what. I would also qualify for that category of chronic crafters because I started crafting in the late 1970s. Well, technically earlier than that. I started loving crafts when I was 12, and that is a long time ago. Lived across the street from an artist, full-blown, honest-to-God artist. And I used to babysit her kids while she'd go to shows. You talk about some amazing things. She would let me watch her while she painted, while she worked, and it was so cool, and it inspired me. And she always told me, she said, and this is something that's so powerful. She said, everyone has something inside of them that makes them special. Everybody does. And everybody has something that they can do. Sometimes you just have to look for it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cry. But it's true. She was right. Everybody has things that they can do that nobody else can do. And so, what I'd like to do is provide this place for us to explore and learn all the things that we can do together. You know, to celebrate people's abilities, not their disabilities. And to focus on what can we do, not what can't we do, but what can we do? Because we can do a lot. You know it? We can actually do a lot. So I want to have you, I ask you to come join me on this beautiful journey of acceptance and love. It doesn't matter what you're dealing with. We will all come together as a community and enjoy and share the absolute thrill and delight of the answer to the question of what can we do. So thank you very much for joining us. Maggie and I look forward to seeing you. And I'm not doing very many things out here, obviously, because, well, I either get I get a little too much attention for being able to craft during that. I wanted to show you, though, the first thing that we're going to start on is something called junk journals. And immediately, those of you who, like me, don't like journaling or like whatever. But the one thing all us chronic folks probably agree on, and if we can't physically do this, maybe somebody that we love can, because it will help them too. One of the things that we all as chronic folks have use of is someplace organized that would be pretty to put all of our health information, you know? So that when we walk in the doctor's office, we've got everything from every doctor we see, and if you're like me, you've got a half a dozen of them. And we could go through and turn to any page. Hold on, babe, I gotta get the carrots out. We would turn to different pages and be able to see, oh, you're gonna, please don't knock that over, darling. Come here, baby. Thank you, my curious girl. But you would go in and be able to have all your health information in one spot. Everything from insurance to, yeah, I know that's interesting. You don't normally have that in your stall, do you? But everything from, you know, doctor information, hospital information, insurance information, medications that you use, all the different kinds of things that are pertinent, things you're allergic to, all this kind of stuff that's really cool and important. Should you have an accident, you trip and you fall down the steps and you're unconscious, and the ambulance comes to get you, and that will help them to know how to take care of you. So anyway, I want to encourage you that maybe if you don't do anything else, you could make one of those, or have somebody help you make one of those. And in the meantime, you might find craft that, like me, I didn't know about at first. And when I started watching all these videos, okay, now you're getting the horse's butt. As I started watching some of these videos, I came to find a craft that I actually grew to love. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for considering it. I am going to do a Monday broadcast at the beginning right now. I'm doing at least one broadcast a week, and it will be on Monday morning. I'll release it at 7 a.m. Eastern time. And they are called Manic oh, no, not called Manic. I'm sorry. They are Manic, but they're called Mayday Mondays. Mayday Mondays is something to help us share and get through our Monday. Monday is very different for different people for different reasons. You may be that mom who has 3 kids, and instead of doing self-care like you desperately needed to do this weekend, you spent the whole weekend taking kids to birthday parties and school games and all this different stuff, going to church, doing all the stuff, you know? And you, honey, hang on, I'm getting it. They're at the end of them. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go buy more carrots. Carrots are one of her favorites. She loves carrots and she loves apples. But anyway, we gotta, you know, you gotta get through the day and you've just gotten through the weekend from the pit, and you realize I did not get any rest that I needed. I didn't do anything for me that I needed to do. It is now Monday, and I have got to go to work or whatever else you've got to do for the week, and you're realizing, oh my gosh, I am so lacking in what I needed to be able to do this. Baby, it's all gone. It's all gone, honey. I love you. And then you realize that, you know, oh my gosh, I've got to face a whole week, and I'm by myself, you know, and I am so not ready for this. And off it goes. And here, you want some hay? You can have some hay. Here you go. And you realize, you know, here we go. The other person that I'm talking to is like me. My Mondays were kind of hard sometimes because people would go out and do things. And Monday you would hear about it, you know, or read about it on Facebook or whatever. But you would hear about it, and that's all the neat things that happened. Oh, that's my barn, by the way. She just flipped the image. This is my barn that's in my image on my channel. It is a very old barn. But anyway, those other people are like, you know, it's Monday, and everybody's had all these fun things to do all weekend, and all I've done is sit around or lay around the house, and nobody thought about me to include me in any of those things, or even invite me to those things if I could figure out how to get to them. So both of you are facing challenging mornings, and for completely different reasons. But either direction, I want to be a happy spot in your Monday, whether it be in the morning or in the afternoon or the evening or whenever you get around to seeing it. I would like to bring an encouraging and delightful place of learning something new and doing something new that maybe you can make friends along the way and share insightful thoughts in crafting and fun things. There's a Facebook group that's going with the group that you're welcome to come and post the crafting that you do and share that, and just, you know, really encourage each other with the crafting and with life in general. The only thing that I do ask is that we leave medical discussions out of this channel. I was a registered nurse when my disability got me, and I do not want any risk of any kind of liability or discussion over, you know, this medication, that medication, this natural supplement versus that natural supplement. All this stuff, that stuff, I want to be kept out of this channel. There are thousands of them out there that you can go to discuss like that. And if you want to do that, then go to one of those, please. But this channel is to be for positivity, for creative and crafting, and it is to be a place where we share and have fun over the crafting world. So thank you very much. And in a minute, I'm going to go inside and continue. As soon as I'm finished with my girl, I'm going to go inside and continue and create. By the way, that's Molly running around. She's one of my kitties. And continue with some fun things, getting started with our first craft. And it will be using things that everybody has. It starts out with junk mail envelopes. So, yeah, I think we all have some junk mail envelopes that we can play with. So get your glue and enjoy. And actually, you can just hang out and watch and then do it later if you want to. Sometimes that's better because you can focus on what is happening and then have that knowledge with you all the way before you start doing it. So thank you very much. I enjoy it. I look forward to spending time together. Have a wonderful day and have a fantastic May Day Monday. Hey, welcome to the backside of this first video. I'm going to share with you the crafting part. And this is going to be the first project that we do. Because remember, in the first half, I said something about that one thing all of us chronic folks have in common, and that is medical stuff. All of us have a boatload of medical things we keep up with. Everything from medication lists to allergies to what's going on between different doctors who may or may not be on the same system, you know, like a hospital system or something where they could see information from each other. So sometimes it's important that you take information from one doctor that is not in another doctor's ability to see, and be sure that they're aware of the things going on with that doctor. It can get downright, I would say, a hassle to keep up with sometimes. So anything you can do to make that easier is awesome. So this is the first thing we're going to do, is make a medical information, kind of an organizing spot for all that. This first one I designed with either gentlemen or ladies who fish, with them in mind. And the reason being because I know that a lot of times guys will think that crafting channels are definitely not for them. And I want there to be no question that our gentlemen are totally welcome and wanted to be here. We honor you. You deal with the same things that the rest of us do. And we want to make sure that you are represented and that you have an opportunity to actually find things of interest here. So we'll be including any kind of thing that y'all do. Go into the Facebook group, join it, and post pictures of whatever it is you do, whether it's painting or sculpting or making things with, you know, metal or wood. I love woodworking. I do a tiny bit of it myself. I'm definitely a novice, but I love it. And I want to learn more. So, you know, y'all share over in the Facebook group all the different cool stuff that you do. And that'll be encouraging to everyone. And the Facebook group is designed for us to have a place to chat and to share what we do, and to make it accessible to everybody without having to go through, you know, because right now there's only one video coming up, this first video, but by next year, there's going to be quite a few videos, because I plan on making, once I get this down and get the process together, because I'm learning it as I'm going as well, but once I get the process down, I'm planning on doing more than one video a week as I go. Right now, I'm committing to one video a week on Monday, and it is called May Day Mondays, and so that's my beginning commitment. But as I get better at this, you better believe I'm going to be expanding and doing different things. I have a couple of people that have suggested that they would be willing to help me with making some little videos, that I could put out there and work with and make, comment on or, display what I figure out with what they're teaching. Just a lot of fun stuff. So this is our medical information book, and I thought it was cute. I've got hook, line, and sinker, which is all in. And I would like, all of our medical information is going to be in one spot where when they open up this book, everything is there. And starts off, of course, with a place for all your emergency contact, your any life-threatening allergies or life-threatening health conditions, things like asthma, diabetes, different conditions that can be a crisis and that, people need to know about. If you're having a hard time breathing, it may be difficult for you to tell them that you have asthma, and playing 20 questions versus opening this and reading it right there would be much easier for them. This beautiful artwork I found out on Etsy. You just search your fishing digital images,
and you will find so many lovely things to look at. What we're doing, each one of these envelopes, or each one of these pages, is in actuality an envelope. So it's designed for you to be able to tuck your doctor work paperwork in there, your list of medications, because that's always, you know, every time you go to the doctor, they're asking you about your medications. Are you still taking these things? Has there been any change in dosages? All that. And if there are, you can mark those down and help them keep their records updated appropriately. The general idea here is no matter how many doctors you have, there'll be enough space in here for every doctor. These are absolutely gorgeous images, by the way. You'll have some pockets in here that are in addition to those pockets of the, that's beautiful lined paper with imagery for writing on. But instead, in addition to these big pockets, you'll have some smaller places to put things. And there is some lovely artwork that I found out there. I mean, I was so impressed. So anyway, this, like, you have tucks. Tucks are where things can go in. Tucks hold larger things a lot of times, or more of them than you can get into a pocket. So that's something, a way to use a tuck. And these are just really, really beautiful. And you can make these out of any kind of envelope that you have. It can be, the junk mail envelope that you get bills in or whatever, or advertisements in, hang on, these things. These, and they don't have to have a flap on them. We can fix that. They can. If you've got one, well, this one I opened it. I didn't tear the flap, but I used a letter opener to open it. So you can, whatever you've got. They also can use like stationery envelopes. If you've got a box of old cards that you're never going to send anybody. We have other projects for the cards, but you could take out some of the envelopes and use the envelopes to make one of these as well. And it's fun, it's easy. It's just going to take some thought as to what you'd like to do. And you can be thinking about that between now and next week, when our next video is going to show you how to make this. And be thinking about, how you might use it. How much doctor information you've got to keep. What size do you want it? If you are a lady and you carry a purse, you may not want it to be a full envelope size, and we can fix it from that with the envelope still. We can make it smaller. We can do all kinds of stuff with that. So, and we can make these cool things where you have, instead of bound like this, you can have things that like flip out, go in opposite directions, all kinds of cool stuff. That's what we're going to be talking about starting next week, so that you can see some of the amazing ways that you can do stuff. Paper is one of the most awe-inspiring supplies. You can do so much with paper. It's just astounding. And I never knew about it. I learned about paper after 2020 when my handicap situation occurred. I learned about it after that because I was struggling for finding anything for some happiness, and I started playing with paper, and it really gave me a place for a very positive flow in my life, and I'm so grateful. So whatever it is that you do, bring it to us, share it with us. And today, have a wonderful May Day Monday, and knowing that next week you've got something to look forward to on Monday, instead of everything just be whatever. It's Monday. You'll have something good to look forward to. Thanks a bunch. I appreciate y'all. Looking forward to getting our May Day Mondays rolling. Thank you. Bye-bye.